Quatu, Verata, Nix. Hello, welcome to episode 30 of Full Movie Podcast. Huzzah! A show where we talk about those long-forgotten classics that deserve a rewatch. I'm Matt.
And I'm Freya.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good indeed. Super excited for today's episode.
Good. Why is that?
Because it is a doozy.
A doozy. Good use of the word doozy.
Thank you. And how are you?
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling a bit tipsy.
Oh.
I had a couple of drinks after work, had a couple of drinks when I came home, and now I'm just fine.
Grand. Well, you know, we are recording a little bit later than usual. Welcome to Full Movie Podcast Nights. Where Matt is drunk and I'm not.
Yes, we are recording a little bit later than normal. I do apologise, but hopefully you'll be listening to us in the morning.
Sure.
You know.
When you sign in for working from home, or you're travelling to work, or sitting in your pants, doing nothing, whatever floats your boat, really.
You can listen to this.
Yeah. Ooh. Ideal. So, what exactly are we talking about today?
We are discussing 3 films.
3 films.
Why'd you whisper that?
I don't know, I just needed some echo to it.
I loved it.
Good.
We are doing possibly the greatest horror trilogy of all time.
All time.
Stop it.
Sorry.
We are doing Sam Raimi? I'd say Raimi. Because I like the noodles.
Potato.
Yeah. Evil Dead trilogy.
The Evil Dead trilogy follows the trials of Ash Williams as he battles the forces of evil. First from a log cabin, then a medieval castle, via a windmill.
Groovy.
Groovy.
Directed by Sam Raimi, who also did Crime Wave, Darkman, Quick and Dead, which we reviewed. Mm-hmm. Go back and listen to that. Leave a review, like us. A Simple Plan. I'd do anything.
Not that one, though.
Not that Simple Plan. The Gift, which is a great film. Mm-hmm. 3 Spider-Man films. Spider-Man films. Spider-Man. That's Tobey Maguire's one. Drag Me to Hell, Oz the Great and Powerful, and the upcoming Doctor Strange 2.
Very exciting.
It was written by Sam Raimi. The original one was just written by Sam Raimi. The sequel, Evil Dead 2, was written by Sam Raimi and Scott Spielgel, I think. And the third one, Army of Darkness, was written by Sam Raimi and Ivan Raimi. How do we feel about this film? These films, I should say. He says with mistakes.
It's fine. You know, you've had cider. I, to this day, thoroughly enjoyed them. Thoroughly.
Good. I thought it was going to take longer than that.
The end.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, because I should say that we watched the first and second one on Sunday night after we recorded the podcast.
Yep.
And we watched Army of Darkness yesterday on Monday.
Tuesday.
Who knows? It was a day.
It was a day.
But we basically watched them in quick succession. Mm-hmm. And I like Evil Dead.
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not sure about that. No, I don't hate it. I have reasons. Mm-hmm. It did scare me as a child. Mm-hmm. When I was very young, my parents had clearly watched it the night before. I got up in the morning expecting to watch something like Barry Norman's film review of 1990 or something, and inadvertently watched Evil Dead.
Oh dear.
And it scared the bejesus out of me. But it wasn't like the gory aspect. It was only the woman in the basement.
Okay, yeah.
So she was the only thing that really scared me.
Yeah.
And then for years and years, I didn't even attempt to watch it again, or Evil Dead 2. The next thing I watched was Army of Darkness when it came out on video.
VHS.
Yes, VHS.
Hey, at least you didn't grow up with a big scary basement, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I did. Didn't have a trapdoor, but, you know. Still.
We had a cupboard, which was kind of freaky.
It doesn't count. It's not the same.
But it had a Hoover in it, so it wasn't that scary.
Oh, no.
Unless you're a dog.
Unless you're a dog, exactly.
Yeah.
So you didn't quite enjoy the first film as much as you thought. Why is that? Because I completely disagree.
I don't know. I just wasn't a massive fan of that. I have obviously I've seen all of them again in my adult years. I not a massive fan of the first one. Really loved the second one and adored the third one.
Yes,
which is strange because a lot of people really, really, really like the second one, which I understand and I wouldn't argue against. I'm not saying that I don't like the first Evil Dead film. I'm just saying, out of the three, that's the one which I like the least.
I get that. I mean, it is obviously the presumably lowest budget one,
Sure.
and the effects are very cheap, very dated.
Yeah, sure, but again, I wouldn't hold that against
A
this
lot of
film.
plasticine.
Flymo to the rescue.
But it's difficult for me to kind of judge them as a whole and compare them to each other, because I think they're, whilst being in the same trilogy, they're so different.
Oh my god, yes.
Because,
Yes, very, very. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Oh, thank you for agreeing with me on that, at least. I feel that Evil Dead, the first film, is really trying to be a horror.
It's a very campy horror.
Yes, but it is definitely trying to be scary.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it was trying to offend with the gore or anything like that.
No.
Or really scare, like, say, something like The Thing or Halloween or...
But it's got a sort of video nasty kind of
definitely.
Feel to it. Whereas Evil Dead 2, less of the gore and the horror, bit more of the kind of comedy and the campness comes through intentionally.
Oh, yes.
Even the blood of the Deadites in Evil Dead 2 is green rather than red, which immediately makes it less gory, in my opinion.
There is a reason why it was green, though.
Oh, is there?
Basically because the first Evil Dead film got banned in a lot of places. It was a video nasty, like you said. The second one, they didn't want to get a R rating in America, which is essentially an 18 here, or X as it used to be known. So they wanted to go for a 15.
Right.
So rather than showing red blood, they had green blood.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
but
I think
they still gave it a R rating on X. So
rude.
Yeah.
But I think that's quite apparent in the second film, that they are, notably trying to downplay the gore.
Oh god, yes, definitely. Yes.
And then Army of Darkness is just not scary at all, not gory at all.
Yeah.
It is just hilarious.
I mean, obviously there's a bigger budget in that one.
Yeah, of course, and they spent it.
The Deadites look amazing.
Yeah, the big kind of battle scene where they're all approaching, I love that. I just think it looks so good. The mixture of kind of puppets and people in costume works really well.
Yeah. It does. It's anyway. Let's go back to Evil Dead, because we're breezing through this.
I just wanted to summarise the differences between the three films.
Okay, well, summarise your summary.
My summary is that Evil Dead horror.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2, kind of horror comedy. Evil Dead 3, that's not a thing. Army of Darkness, all out comedy with a tiny pinch of horror.
It's a little bit of an action adventure as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, even the music makes it feel actiony, adventure-y.
But I do love it because it's so funny.
Do you know why I love these films?
Why?
Bruce Campbell.
These films would be nothing without the chin.
If chins could kill.
Exactly. And
I recommend that book, by the way, to everybody.
Yes.
Stories of a beast star Hollywood legend or something like that.
B-movie Hollywood legend, something like that.
Yeah.
He is magnificent, and he doesn't come into his own until Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
In the first one, he's got major monobrow. He's very young, clearly. He doesn't have that kind of arrogance and that character that we know and love him for in later films.
Well, it's very interesting because Bruce Campbell is awesome.
Yeah.
He's never really been given the chance to be proper Hollywood star.
Well, I don't know if he's got it in him. He's too Bruce Campbell for his own good.
But so this is the crazy thing. So So Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi went together. Went together? Not like
did
that.
they?
I'm sorry. Sorry. Let me rephrase. They went to school together. And also in the same area where they grew up. The Coen brothers, Big Lebowski, other films.
Many, many good films, yeah.
Grew up in the same area. As well as Francis
McDormand, yeah.
Yeah. Who is an Oscar winner. You had... Oh, I can't remember her name. Raised in Arizona. Not Nick Cage, the lady. The girl.
I can't think off the top of my head.
Her
but
name.
Yeah.
That girl. She was recently in like Batman vs Superman. Holly Hunter.
Oh yes, of course.
Holly Hunter grew up in the same area as well, and it was at one stage was a housemate of Sam Raimi. So he
What are they putting in the water?
Hollywood apparently.
Yeah, talent.
So a lot of big stars came from that area, as well as that Gene Hackman lived basically a couple of streets down from Sam Raimi, and knew the family.
Wow.
So there was this weird part of America that was, I think it was Minnesota, where a lot of very future famous people lived and knew each other.
Interesting.
So what the hell happened, Bruce Campbell?
Like I said, he is too Bruce Campbell for his own good.
Yeah.
You know, if you let him be himself. I mean, he's just wonderful though, and I really love him, and I kind of have a small crush on him as well.
I understand.
Because he's just...
fully understand.
He's just brilliant. He's a caricature of himself, and I just, God love him.
Let's talk a little bit about these being cult films.
Okay.
These are cult films. Let's talk about now. So these were, in the UK, they're known as video nasties.
Yes.
Okay, there were a lot of video nasties, such as Friday 13th, 1, 2 and 3, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 976 Evil, Puppet Master, Child's Play was one of the last. The BBFC hated these films. This film, Evil Dead, was actually banned in Germany for quite a long time.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was just over 20 years.
Wow.
So, and it took ages for the uncut version, which we in the UK got in 2002. It was only 2016 that the uncut version was released. Yeah. It's kind of strange.
It's crazy.
Like, we watched the uncut version.
Yes.
And yes, granted, there's the tree rape scene, which isn't very nice.
Well, no, that's true. But I mean, it's not graphic.
It's not as graphic as, say, something like the tunnel scene in Irreversible. You know, there's like nudity, and it's heavily implied about stuff, but it really wasn't as bad as you would have thought.
No, I think it's more, because obviously now it's easy enough to kind of look back at it and think, well, it's not that bad. But at the time, there's the scene where he cuts up the one of his friends who's become a deadite, and then you see the kind of quivering body parts on the ground. Yeah. I mean, if you think about that and think what it would look like with today's effects, that would be
the remake.
Yeah.
Because the remake is very gory.
Yeah, we won't talk too much about the remake because I'm sure we will give it its own episode at some point because it's worth it. But
Is it? I mean, yes, it's a very good film. I don't think we should do that. I think people should watch these films and not the remake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, good.
Watch those, and then later on, after we've reviewed the remake...
And also, it wasn't released 10 years ago.
Well, at some point it will.
Okay. In like 5 years' time.
Indeed.
Okay.
Anyway...
that's very gory anyway.
But
I recommend it.
That is very graphic and much, much more unsettling than any of the originals. But, I think that had I... And I'm sure the first time I watched the cut version when I was much, much younger, because my brothers were into The Evil Dead, so I'm sure I managed to sneak...
They're deadheads, aren't they?
Yeah. Sure I managed to, view what I shouldn't have at some point. It was definitely uncomfortable viewing, especially the pencil in the ankle.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at it now, it's, over 30 years old now. It looks very, very fake, but still makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm thinking about ankles.
Well, the same with that scene in Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Let's just not think about that. Yeah, no. I do like the first one, but